This meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Today is Monday, January 27th. My colleagues, Councilor Woods and Councilor Tate, were both with me at the meeting with the Jefferson County delegation just now, and I believe Councilor Tate will join us shortly. If not, we'll keep things moving. But anyway, so we cannot consider the minutes at the current time. So we'll go with the item number 3, new application for CNPC by Good BHM LLC. And this is for a shuttle. So what is the staff's recommendation?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The staff recommendation is this applicant has met all necessary requirements to move forward.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Yes, sir. If you would, just come to the mic and tell us what you're doing here.
Well, we're looking to offer a shuttle service to Birmingham, like before. As far as just getting around the city, we're able to handle large groups. So, like I said, we got a reduction of the worry of parking or something like that. And like I said, if they got to decide to party a little bit, we can get everybody home a little bit safer than somebody get behind the wheel and such and all that. And like I said, we'll start as a small company and hope to do some growing as this city is growing and such.
Okay. So I'm assuming you'll be operating in and around the airport and other places within the city as well, or entertainment districts and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Just out of curiosity, what kind of vehicle will you be using?
Our first vehicle is going to be a retired school bus.
Okay. All right. And yes, I see it's here, 2009 International. All right. Well, so since we don't have the full committee here, we'll advance this to the council consideration with a recommendation from the committee chair. So in a couple of weeks, this will go to the full council for consideration.
Okay.
So thank you for being with us.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next item we have is item number 4, the Federal Carbon Reduction Program grant funding. So yes.
Good evening.
Hey.
Kelvin Blevins, Service Deputy Director, Department of Transportation. So this is to accept the award for the carbon reduction grant and also to have a match of $450,000. The award for the carbon reduction grant is $2.1 million. And the scope of work is actually to upgrade 10 corridors to restore communication to our traffic management software on those 10 corridors.
Okay, is this the program or the grant application that we discussed a few months ago with regard to replacing or installing new telecommunications lines to some of those signals?
There were 2 grants. There was the Attain grant that we did not get, and the carbon reduction grant was also part of that as well. So yes, they both coincided with each other.
Okay. All right. And you said the city's match is 40,000 or?
No, the city's match is 200 and, hold on for 1 second.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that was just for the preliminary engineering and then the construction, yeah. So, be 430,000,
50,000.
50,000, right?
Yes.
Yep, got it. All right. Do we know where the funding source for the match will come from?
Believe Chief Mitchell has the funding source, or the grants department has the funding source. So they have the GL account, which I believe they will kind of discuss during the budget and finance meeting.
Okay, right, exactly. All right. And I would assume that the project looks very similar to the grant application that, for the other funding opportunity that we applied for?
The scope of work it's a little downgraded from the Attain grant because it was more funding, so we can't cover as much. But the carbon reduction is the same scope of work as far as getting communication back online, repairing fiber lines, and possibly upgrading some areas as well.
Okay. Counselor Tate, so the, Deputy Director Blevins is talking to us about a funding opportunity that the city wants to go out after, similar to a project that we discussed previously that would restore communications to traffic signals around the city.
Yes.
So similar in scope with, but just fewer
Fewer
signals.
intersections, yes.
Yeah. All right. And the city's portion of the match would be $450,000. So they don't have a funding source ready for us to look at, but this will be discussed in Budget and Finance at 3:30. So I'm sure they'll have that information then.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would assume that this, the traffic signals that are part of this application would be on the, arterials primarily. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So it'd be 10 corridors. The first one would be University Boulevard, which will start at 8th Street South to 29th Street South. The second one would be along Green Springs Avenue and I-65 North ramps. The next one would be along Martin Luther King Lom Avenue and 6th Avenue Southwest from Goldwild Street to Princeton Parkway. The next one will be along 5th Avenue South from 14th Street South to 19th Street South. The next one will be 6th Avenue South from 11th Street South to 18th Street South. The next one will be 20th Street Ensley from Pike Road to Avenue C. The next one will be Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard from 2nd Avenue South to 7th Avenue South. Next one, Richard Arrington Boulevard from 1st Avenue North to 7th Avenue North. And the next one will be 22nd Street South from 2nd Avenue South to 7th Avenue South. And that will be it.
Okay. Yeah, and I see the information in our packet with estimates for each of those corridors.
Yes.
All right. Counselor Tate, you have any questions or concerns?
I just got a few quick questions, and I know, and please forgive me for being late. So this, just kind of, you don't have to do like a all over review. Just kind of give me like a high level review. I'm reading this, so it's an upgrade to signals on local roadways. So this is the signals.
Yes,
Okay.
this is for the communication between the signals where they can talk to each other, but it also allows us to see it, either in our traffic management center, or we can use our software to make, remote upgrades or remote changes, via a laptop or computer.
And so basically, making sure all the signals on are timely where the car is going, and then stopping, cutting down on this carbon.
Right, it cuts down carbon reduction to keep, the traffic flowing, or keep the signal synchronized in a certain corridor.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, my next question would be, in terms of, long-term, how are we gonna not be in the same situation that we're in right now, where we have a lot of signals that no longer communicate with our traffic control center because the communications lines have been cut by excavations and various things. So how do we not get back in the same situation in the future?
Most of these are overhead fiber lines versus being underground, and they're fiber instead of our old copper lines, which are outdated. So this gives us, a little bit better way we can kind of, maintain it versus it being underground and we're not having the equipment to go underground and to make those repairs.
Right? So taking advantage of the adjacent overhead utilities, yeah, okay,
Yes.
great. All right, I think that's all of our questions. So I'll make a motion that we advance this to the full council with a recommendation for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that item will be referred to the full council.
Thank you, sir.
So, going back up, we have minutes from the January 13th, 2025 meeting. So if there's no additions or corrections, we'll consider a motion to approve those as written.
I move approval.
All right, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved. Any older new business you discuss?
Yes, Mr. President, I have some questions that I would like to ask, VDOT for some updates, particularly, around the 16th Street exit where it is completely black. Just have not been able to get a response out of ALDOT. I do have emails where I've sent, Mr. Leonard, and no response to no avail. And also, I have had, the Fountain Heights community, and I see this in Norwood when you pass by the swimming pool, the VADOC, under the VADOC where it's lit up at, that's a concern that the community has, how dark it is, under there. And an update on traffic calming throughout District 9. So if somebody can lean in and kind of, if kind of update me on that, what's the deal with the traffic lights? Because it's extremely dark. Like when you pass on Finley Avenue, before you get to the Finley Avenue exit, that ramp is extremely dark. And also, I'm looking at this from a public safety standpoint. And I know that I have reached out to, Mr. Leonard to no avail. And I know Ms. Lyons, the president of Fountain Heights, Bund area, we have done this repeatedly and have not been able to get any answer. And, like when we gonna light it up, in particular, going up under that from the rec center. Like
Right.
It's extremely dark.
So you're saying the 16th Street exit off of I-65 as well as the I-65 viaduct over, I believe, that's 13th Court? That-
And that's leading into, you can go up under that VADOC and then, that part
Over
will
to
take you
Enon
to
Ridge.
Enon Ridge, correct?
Yeah, right.
And so I know, like I said, I noticed when I was going off of 31st Street, off of Caraway Boulevard, and I turned on to 12th, not 12th, but what road is that? I can't even think of the street leading to the swimming pool. That VADOC is lit up. It's really, really bright. And then you have the flashing four-way stop sign. And so that was one of the things that the, community had been talking to me about. And I know that me and Bondaria have definitely sent the email over to, ALDOT, cause it's, you know, to me, that's a public safety issue, you know, with somebody coming off that ramp, can't see, cause I mean, when I say it's pitch black dark, you cannot see anything.
Director Fowler, this is a perennial issue. Seems like, you know, every occasion we talk about this, it's almost like a one-off for each location. We got to figure out who's responsible.
This is quite a separate conversation, but really quick, though. They had a question. Again, James Fowler, I serve as the director of the city's Department of Transportation. With respect to the interstate off-ramp lights there, we are working with ALDOT to do an assessment of several different locations around the city of interstate lights and to make some targeted repairs. I think that's one of the sections that we're looking at. If it's not, we'll go back and try to work that into that package. So thank you for lifting that up.
I'll send Alyssa an email so she can send it, you know, the channels that we gotta go. But I'll go on my email and I'll find it so you can actually see when we started, you know, reaching out to Mr. Leonard to no avail.
I understand. Yes, ma'am. And then. And I believe the second part of your question was regarding an update on traffic calming, specifically in District 9. While I don't have a list of those locations in front of me, if you want to send that request through Government Affairs, we'll get back to you. Just one additional note, in the budget amendment that was just passed, we increased the budget for traffic calming. So we're going to try to use some of that money to hire a contractor to speed up some of the installations. Kelvin has been working on that with capital projects. And so this was our first kind of test with that, but we're using some of the money for that.
If I recall correctly, that traffic calming allocation went from $50,000 to $500,000?
It went from $250,000 to $500,000.
Okay, right.
That's right.
And then one more final question, Director Fowler, like coming from the Fountain Heights Center, you know, that Viaduct where it looked like a little tunnel, I call it a tunnel, but it pushed you in the manner of what's by the swimming pool in Norwood, right? So if you think about Fountain Heights and you go drive through there and it'll take you over into Inland Ridge. It's like really, really dark. And I know that President Lyons had some conversation with me about it. And I saw it firsthand, you know, just going to the center, going to neighborhood meetings. Like, what do we need to do to get that lit up? Do I need to purchase some lights?
No, ma'am, let me check on that as well, to see where that's at, so.
And if I need to give y'all some discretionary funds, I'm willing to do that. I'm just thinking about, when I think about, you know, public safety, I'm thinking about that from that standpoint. So if I don't need to, you know, pitch in, then I don't.
Right.
But I would love to see that lit up.
If part of that is going up under the 65 underpass, if there's lights up under there, unfortunately, they're part of the interstate lighting. So,
I
so
got
if
you.
you like that part, if you like the interstate up, then you like that part up as well. So just
Okay.
giving you a little
Check it
background
out for me
clarity
and
on
let
it.
me know.
We'll do.
Because I know that's a major concern for, you know, the constituency in that Fountain Heights areas. And so they work really well with us. Councilor Quinn and I still we share those constituents. And so we really want to try to give them, you know, what they're asking. When I know ALDOT, it's a challenge, a major challenge. That should not be so. I think again, I'll send y'all the email correspondence so y'all can actually see that we've been on this for a while.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank y'all so much for all y'all do. Thank you all for them. I gotta really commend y'all. I've seen a lot of new sidewalks in District 9, a lot. Thank you so much. I know I've seen a lot in a Cipico family, and I got like one little, like, I'll send it over to Alyssa that I think we probably need to get on, because we'll talk about that, but thank you all for like a lot of these sidewalk improvements that I've seen throughout District 9. It's just really great. And I'm taking pictures of that so I can make sure that I highlight it in my newsletter, like it's really going down. Thank you, I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll consider a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.